Welcome, friends. Welcome to the mid-market session. Is my voice clearly audible? If everyone could just confirm if the voice is clearly audible at present. We'll just wait a few seconds and we'll start with the session soon. One second. Yeah, welcome to all our friends. We'll just start the session. We'll just wait a few seconds and we'll start with the session. Yeah, so let's get started without wasting any further time. So if you see, today's market has been extremely positive. Post the decent rally that we got in Friday's trading session, आज के session में एक अच्छा pullback rally देखने को मिल रहा है market में. And the main reason for this pullback that we have seen today is clearly the positive sentiment seen in the IT space. तो अगर IT का अगर charts देखें, IT index, there has been a very good rally over there. And we feel that from a short term perspective there could be a pullback in the particular space, that is the IT space. And the stock which is leading the momentum currently is the likes of Infosys, HCL Tech. ये सारे फ्रंट लाइन काउंटर्स में आज अच्छा खासा मूवमेंट है. एक बार क्विकली हम लोग देख लेते हैं काउंटर्स को. So if you see clearly, Infosys is the star performer today. That particular stock is up 2.76%. और इसी के कारण आईटी इंडेक्स में एक अच्छा उछाल देखने को मिल रहा है विद द आईटी इंडेक्स up almost 1.7% in trade today. So we'll just quickly go through all the frontline counters from the IT space. That's what which is driving the momentum today. So even if you see TCS, जो बहुत टाइम से एक लैगार्ड स्टॉक था, आज उसमें भी थोड़ा मोमेंट आ चुका है. एंड कंपेयर टू द रेस्ट ऑफ द सेक्टर्स इन द मार्केट, this is one sector which is doing relatively well. HCL Tech also is another heavyweight counter which is doing relatively well. That particular stock also is up today. So HCL Tech भी लगभग at present juncture is up 1.86%. So the index is which is resulted in the index being up almost. Yeah, I agree that there is a slight this glitch which is resulting in the chart appearing slightly on the smaller side. I'll still try 1 second. Is the chart? I hope it's much clear now. So we'll go with this particular format where the chart is much more important. So if everyone could just confirm if the chart is clearly visible to everyone at present in a large form. Yeah, thank you so much. Let's get started. So this is the more important picture. That is, the chart is the much more important part for us. So moving forward, if you see, like I mentioned, the IT index is the strongest index today, which has resulted in Nifty climbing by 144 points. तो करंट जंक्चर पे इंडेक्स ऑलमोस्ट अपने हाई पॉइंट पे है. आज निफ्टी का हाई पॉइंट जो है दैट इज 25,652 लेवल्स, और अभी हम लोग लगभग एक 14-15 पॉइंट उस पॉइंट से नीचे ट्रेड हो रहे हैं. बट देयर इज अ गुड चांस दैट लुकिंग एट द चार्ट स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ फ्यू ऑफ द कंपनीज वी विल डू रिलेटिवली वेल. बट सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट जानना है कि क्योंकि क्लोजिंग कैसा होता है. देखिए, मार्केट का स्टार्ट और मिड सेशन इज नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट, इट्स द क्लोजिंग हाउ इट कम्स, दैट इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इन ट्रेडिंग. क्योंकि क्लोज सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है. दैट्स व्हेन द मेन मनी कम्स इनटू द मार्केट. एफआई का जो बाइंग होता है जनरली टेंड्स टू हैपन इन द सेकंड हाफ ऑफ द सेशन. एंड फ्राइडे का जो सेशन था, बहुत दिनों के बाद एफआई का बाई फिगर आया था, लगभग 4,000 करोड़ का बाई फिगर आया था. This is almost after 10 to 12 trading sessions of continuous selling that we witnessed a buy figure from the FIs that resulted in positive sentiment in the market overall. और DIS का तो लगातार बाइंग ही हो रहा है. बट दी along with that, when we got a positive figure from the FIs, that's when we got a decent recovery in the market. तो आज जो है, मैंने जैसे कि मैंने कहा था, आज का जो रिकवरी पूरा रिकवरी है वो आईटी स्टॉक्स के वजह से. काफी दूसरे फ्रंटलाइन काउंटर्स में भी अच्छा मूवमेंट देखने को मिल रहा है. जैसे कि इफ यू टेक दी मिड कैप इंडेक्स में भी आज एक अच्छा बाउंस देखने को मिल रहा है. सो लास्ट टाइम वी हैड डिस्कस्ड ऑन फ्राइडे एज वेल. तो मिड कैप इंडेक्स ने एग्जैक्टली अपने डाउनवर्ड स्लोपिंग ट्रेंड लाइन पे ही सपोर्ट लिया था, एंड उससे अभी हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि अच्छा खासा रिकवरी आ चुका है. दैट वाज क्लोजर टुवर्ड्स 58,800, और उधर से ऑलमोस्ट एक 1,300 पॉइंट्स का पुल बैक रैली देखने को मिल रहा है मार्केट में, एंड दैट्स अ डिसेंट रैली फॉर द मिड कैप इंडेक्स फ्रॉम फ्राइडेज लो. द स्मॉल कैप इंडेक्स हैज बीन रिलेटिवली अंडर परफॉर्मिंग. तो अगर आप देखोगे मिड कैप और स्मॉल कैप इंडेक्स के चार्ट में काफी अंतर है. मिड कैप इंडेक्स में ऑलरेडी एक ऑलमोस्ट अपने ऑल टाइम हाई के वापस आ चुका है, मतलब ऑल टाइम नहीं, एटलीस्ट स्विंग 52 वीक हाई के आसपास वापस आ चुका है. But that is not the case with the small cap index. The small cap index is still pretty far away from its all-time high या swing high भी. Even the swing high of 19,224 is quite a distant away at the current juncture. दूसरा जो सेक्टर वाइज अगर हम देखें, आईटी के अलावा कौन से सेक्टर्स में आज मोमेंटम है, दैट इज क्लियरली इन दी फार्मा स्पेस. फार्मा में एक भले ही इंडेक्स एक रेंज बाउंड सेगमेंट में, लेकिन फार्मा इंडेक्स में आज एक अच्छा खासा मोमेंटम देखने को मिल रहा है. काफी सारे फार्मा कंपनीज, स्पेशली लुपिन के रिजल्ट्स के बाद, सी लुपिन का रिजल्ट्स केम इन मच बेटर देन दी स्ट्रीट एक्सपेक्टेशंस, एंड दैट हैज रिजल्टेड इन अ पॉजिटिव मोमेंटम इन दी फार्मा स्पेस, एंड वी हैव विटनेस्ड दैट ओवर द पास्ट फ्यू ट्रेडिंग सेशंस. इसके अलावा जो एक और सेक्टर में जो आज मोमेंटम देखने को मिल रहा है, बहुत सारे सेक्टर्स में फ्राइडे के ट्रेडिंग सेशन में एक हैमर फॉर्मेशन बना था चार्ट्स पे. दिस इज ऑल दी डेली चार्ट. बहुत सारे स्टॉक्स में और इंडाइसेस में एक हैमर फॉर्मेशन बना, एंड टुडे वी आर सीइंग द कंटिन्यूएशन और द फॉलो थ्रू इन दैट पर्टिकुलर स्पेस. तो दैट्स अ डिसेंट गुड साइन दैट इंडिकेट्स दैट द 50-day मूविंग एवरेज फॉर निफ्टी का specifically it had tested the 50-day moving average, and from there we have witnessed a recovery. And the auto space as well, some of the frontline auto companies and the auto ancillary companies have posted a decent set of numbers, and we are seeing good traction there as well. So this is one space that we have been highlighting, which is expected to do good. And along with that, we also expect the metal space to do good. सो निफ्टी मेटल जो लगातार ऑलमोस्ट 3-4 ट्रेडिंग सेशन से एक शार्प करेक्शन हमें देखने को मिला था, उसके बाद एक रिकवरी आ रही है इंडेक्स में, एंड वी हैव बीन हाइलाइटिंग दैट वी हैव अ बुलिश व्यू ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर सेक्टर, एंड वी एक्सपेक्ट द ट्रेंड टू कंटिन्यू ऑन द अपसाइड. तो जो सेक्टर्स, आई विल वंस अगेन आइटरेट, जो सेक्टर्स हमें पॉजिटिव लग रहे हैं फ्रॉम अ शॉर्ट टू मीडियम टर्म पर्सपेक्टिव, that is metal, auto, PSU banks. ये तीन सेक्टर है जिसमें अच्छा खासा मोमेंटेड एक्सपेक्टेड है एंड रियलिटी टू अ स्पेस बिकॉज रियलिटी कैसा है, इट्स अ वेरी फास्ट मोमेंटम ड्रिवन सेक्टर. तो जब भी मोमेंटम मिल जाता है 3-4 दिन, उसमें ऑलमोस्ट 4 to 5% मोमेंटम आ जाता है एंड पोस्ट दैट इट अगेन गोज इनटू अ कंसोलिडेशन फेज. So at the current juncture, we are bullish on metal, PSU banks, and to a good extent, even the auto space. Today, even though we have witnessed a decent recovery in IT, IT still is an underperforming sector. So the real change in momentum in the IT space will be seen only once the index manages to sustain above the 100-day moving average. See, previously also, if you see, the index had come close. I mean, the index had come close to its 100-day moving average and was not able to sustain. So this is the second or third instance that we are going to make an attempt. So previously, if you see my cursor over here at closer towards 37,064, also we witnessed a rejection from the 100-day moving average. Again, over here on 30th October, that particular zone time, we witnessed a rejection from the 100-day moving average. And now we are once again trying to make an attempt to surpass that particular level. If you are able to surpass the particular mark, so the level is 35,000, 36,000, sorry, on the upside. अगर index 36,000 को पार कर लेता है, then we have a 1,500 point up move which could be expected within the IT space. But that is just the early indications. Today is the first candlestick post the recovery that we witnessed on Friday, where the entire space is witnessing positive traction. The other macro factors are not displaying any major trend. So we have Brent crude. अगर Brent crude का chart देखे, absolutely sideways है from a large part of the past few trading sessions. एक sharp pullback आने के बाद लगभग 60 के level से 66, 67 तक आया था एक बार Brent crude prices, and post that we have seen a sideways consolidation in the index. Likewise, even if you see the chart of the dollar index has been on a sideways zone post witnessing a breakout above its 200-day moving average. अगर चार्ट पे देखा जाए, एक अच्छा खासा ब्रेकआउट आया था डॉलर इंडेक्स पे, and post that we have seen a bit of price rejection from the 200-day moving average for the dollar index. So whenever there is a sharp correction in the dollar index, it's a positive thing for us. Momentum in the dollar index is slightly negative towards the emerging market. So that is the overall correlation based on the previous data. So that's it from our end. If you have any questions, stock specific questions, we'll be more than happy to take it. So one by one, I will take the questions. Any stock specific questions on any stock, we can go one by one. Yeah, so first there is a question regarding Infosys. So Infosys itself will take the chart. See, Infosys, there is regarding Infosys, there is news as well regarding the share buyback, and that has resulted in the positive momentum in this particular space. So Infosys का अगर chart देखे, it is quite similar to the index chart itself क्योंकि heavy weight counter है, high weightage है stock का index के अंदर, and that's why we expect on the upside we could expect momentum. Now it is at 1,517. We could expect further 3 to 4% momentum on the upside towards the mark of 1,500, and first would be the mark of 1,544 and post that 1,570. So these are the two short-term targets that we are expecting because this is the first resistance which comes about, and if that particular mark is removed, then we could expect a positive move towards 1,570 on the upside. On the downside, if you take today's low itself, that would be a major support zone because we have formed a large bullish candlestick with the decent amount of volumes. So whenever such candles are formed, today's low itself should be taken as an immediate short-term stop loss for the stock. So there is a question regarding ICICI Bank. So ICICI Bank, if you see that it has relatively underperformed during the current move in the market, even within the banking sector, even though HDFC and ICICI Bank have heavy weightage, this is one stock which has relatively underperformed. There are two reasons for it. There has been a bit of profit booking which came about post its result. So that is one of the factors for the correction in ICICI Bank, which has come about post hitting 1445, जो एक current swing high है. From there we corrected almost 140 points on the downside. Another reason is the recent announcement by SEBI as well regarding the weight shuffling change within the bank Nifty index. See, it's not an immediate thing. इसमें time लगेगा. 4 tranches में ये होने वाला है, wherein the weightage of individual stocks within the bank Nifty index. See, currently we have HDFC Bank, which is almost at 28%, and ICICI Bank, which is closer towards 23-24%. ये दो स्टॉक का वेटेज है विद इन बैंक निफ्टी करंटली. सेबी के न्यू रूल्स के हिसाब से दैट वेटेज हैज टू कम बिलो 20. No stock should have a weightage above 20. So there will be a bit of a trimming or reshuffling which will come about within the banking stocks, private sector banks, and that fund flow will go towards the PSU banking stocks. That's what is expected, and that's what there has been a bit of reshuffling already. See, वो जो होने वाला है, that is almost in 4 tranches till March 26. There is still almost 6 months of time frame, not six, around 5.5 months of time frame for that to happen. But all the passive funds which track the bank Nifty index, which have to make this change, are doing it, will be doing it in a gradual manner. So that's why we have seen a bit of underperformance from ICICI Bank and HDFC over the last few trading sessions, and a bit of profit booking also is another reason which has come about. Now coming to IDBI Bank. So if you see, IDBI Bank also has been relatively sideways post the sharp momentum following its earnings. We witnessed the stock move towards almost 108. From there, we have seen a correction towards 99 currently. But overall, looking at the trajectory for most of the banking stocks, it continues to remain on the positive side. So if you see Bank Nifty, is expected, or the index itself is expected to do relatively well in the second half of this financial year. So H2 जो हम लोग कहते हैं बैंक निफ्टी के लिए काफ़ी, it is expected to be on the positive side. That is Q3 and Q4 going forward, that is the December quarter and the March quarter, are expected to be positive for most of the banking stocks, taking into consideration the recent changes by the RBI. All these things are expected to have a positive impact on the banking counters going ahead. So IDBI also is expected to do relatively well going forward. For the likes of IDBI currently, which is at 99, we have the resistance which is seen closer towards 103, 104. If the stock manages to close above that particular mark, we could see further rally in the stock. So if you take the weekly chart, that's where on multiple occasions a bit of resistance has come about, 104, 103 levels. So anytime we are able to break through and go about, we could see further rally in the stock towards 116, 120 levels from a medium term perspective. Now coming to Aisha Motors. So if you see Aisha Motors post the last few weeks or so has been absolutely sideways to a large extent. The stock had witnessed an extremely sharp rally. तो stock में अगर आप देखो 5,400 odd level से we had witnessed a rally towards 7,122 on the upside, and post that the stock has gone into a bit of consolidation. Uh, Overall, the stock trajectory still continues to remain positive. The main support zone currently is the 50-day moving average. इट्स अ शॉर्ट टर्म सपोर्ट. जो फ्राइडे का लो है वही मेन सपोर्ट जोन है स्टॉक के लिए, दैट इज 6720. Now we are at 6845 levels. So from a short term trading perspective, if you have a position, hold it with a stop loss of Friday's low. And on the upside, the main resistance mark would be seen closer towards 7020 levels. So any breakout above 7020, 7040, we could see a fresh all-time high in the stock. Let's quickly go to Zensar Tech. So Zensar Tech, if you see, in line with the today's rebound, there has been a bit of pullback. But Zensar Tech had corrected sharply from the mark of almost 800. We had come to almost 690 levels on the downside. And उसके बाद आज एक रैली देखने को मिला है स्टॉक में. But clearly you can see this is a short term rally in the stock. It's tough to tell whether it will sustain and take out its medium term averages as well as long term averages. The main average to watch out for from a medium term perspective would be the level of 780, 790 levels. So that's a very important level to track out for. So till the time the stock is below 790, overall the trend is expected to be slightly on the negative side. We may get a pullback closer towards 740, 760 levels, but we'll have to see whether the stock is able to further rally from those particular marks. On the downside, today's low itself would be the main support zone. That is the mark of 695, 693. That is the main support for the stock. CPCL, I was not able to get this. Is that the correct stock? So if you see CP Capital Limited, I hope that's the stock itself which is being asked, because I was not able to get any other stock with the stock name CPCL. Once again, I can just check it. Yeah, so CP Capital, if you see the stock overall, the trend is on the negative side. It's better to exit this particular counter if you have a position. That is CP Capital Limited. The stock is facing resistance. You can clearly see the stock is not able to surpass its 50-day moving average, and there has been constant selling pressure which has come about. Chennai Petroleum, we could see. Chennai Petroleum, the trend is clearly on the positive side. If you see all the oil refining companies along the entire oil and gas space has witnessed an extremely positive momentum. Even though today we are witnessing a bit of profit taking in the counter, the stock is expected to do well. So in these type cases, the only solution from technical perspective is when the momentum is there, you will have to keep broad stop losses, because you will have to trail it with a 10-day moving average or a 20-day moving average and continue to hold these positions, because such type moves come once in a year, once in 2 years in such stocks. So from 700 the stock has rallied more than 30% in just 10 to 12 trading sessions. So there is a really good momentum which is being built up in this particular stock. And so we believe that continue holding it, maintain a 10 period moving average or a 20-day moving average, and hold on to your positions. So Keynes Technology, if you see, the stock witnessed an extremely sharp correction in trade post its earnings. So the earnings came about post market hours on Thursday and Tuesday, that is, and post that we witnessed an extremely sharp correction in the stock. Nonetheless, the stock is taking a bit of support closer towards its 200-day moving average, and then we have witnessed a pullback in the counter. Even if you see the daily RSI, it had gone into extreme oversold zone, and from there we are witnessing a slight pullback rally. But nonetheless, if it's from a trading perspective, better to maintain a stop loss of currently the stock is at 6,440. The main support zone for the stock would be the 200-day moving average, that is the mark of 6,060, 6,040 levels. That should be maintained as the main stop loss level. So Apollo Hospital, if you see, there has been a bit of profit booking which has come about in the stock, but nonetheless, this is the exact support zone the stock has taken on multiple occasions. You can clearly see my cursor first near 6,770, then 7,000, this particular mark, that is 7,100, then again closer towards 7,450, and now again the stock is testing its 100-day moving average, which is closer towards 7,560 levels. So this is a crucial support zone for the particular counter. If the stock witnesses a breakdown from here, then we are coming closer towards 7,250 on the downside. But nonetheless, the next few trading sessions will be crucial to watch out for. That is the mark of 7,450, 7,500. 100 points we can give leeway on either side, because it's a stock which has 7,500 is the current market price, and generally we see one or two candles on either direction of crucial support zones. So crucial support zones hardly tend to be a particular point; it tends to be a particular zone, and now we are exactly at that particular zone for this particular stock. So there is a question regarding sale. So do note that we have been positive in this particular counter. We have been giving it, recommending it on multiple occasions in different segments, and we expect the momentum to remain in sale. Even if you see the metal index post the correction, we are witnessing a decent move in the metal index, and likewise the frontline counter, PSU counter from the metal space is Steel Authority of India, and we expect the momentum which is built up out. Currently now we are at 145. We could still take the stocks in the metal space is a very cyclical space. When there is momentum, the momentum tends to be extremely fast and swift. Currently we are at 145 level. There is a good chance that the stock can move towards 151, 153 levels from a short term perspective. So Tata Elxsi, it's a stock better to avoid from a short-term perspective. Today, the entire IT space is up a bit. So even Tata Elxsi is up 1 odd %. But you can clearly see from the chart structure that this is a stock which is underperforming in the market, and it is trading closer towards its 52-week low itself. So previously we had seen this in April of 2025, this particular level, and post that we are seeing it now in the December phase. So there is a good chance that there could be further correction on the downside. Any breakout below its recent swing low, that is 5,130 levels, we could expect further pressure on the downside. So BEML, if you see, the stock is witnessing a bit of profit booking post its earnings. So the particular stock currently is trading absolutely at its 200-day exponential moving average, where it is expected to find a bit of support. So currently we are at, if you see the stock price, it's at 2000 levels, and the main support zone now would be the Friday's low. So in Friday's trading session, we hit a low closer towards 1950, 1940 levels. So till the time 1940 is not breached on the downside, we expect the stock could show a bit of recovery. But nonetheless, the major resistance on the upside would be the mark of 2140, 160 levels. So which is followed by 2190. The main resistance is 2190 because multiple times the stocks try to make an attempt and just remove the stop losses, but they fail to surpass the previous day's candle, which is a good indication that markets are a bit choppy and it's difficult to trade in because the stop loss levels tend to get wiped out, and then again the original trend continues in the stock. So the next question is regarding Mazgaon doc. So Mazgaon doc, if you see the stock is showing a bit of recovery post the correction that we have seen in the markets. Mazgaon doc too had witnessed a dip below its key average levels. Nonetheless, defense stocks are underperforming in the market. So defense as an entire index also, if you compare with Nifty's performance, the entire defense space is down a bit. Likewise, we have Mazgaon also, which comes under the defense counters, which is under a bit of pressure. Nonetheless, if you have a position, it's better to trade it with today's low itself. So today only the stock is up 1.9%. From trading perspective, generally we recommend position stop losses in the range between 1.5-2%. If it's a slightly longer product, then it's generally advised to maintain a stop loss of nearly 3 to 4%. On the upside, if there is a close today on the positive side, then we could expect from a short term perspective, the immediate target would be 2810. That would be a crucial resistance point for the stock. So the next stock is eClerx. So if you see, eClerx has come under a bit of pressure, even though the IT space is doing relatively well. eClerx is relatively underperforming in that particular space. So we had the counter which moved towards the mark of 4,700, 750 levels, and from there we have witnessed almost a 500-point correction in this particular stock. So from a trading perspective, it would be better to maintain a stop loss of 4035 as a short term stop loss, which is the 100-day moving average. The stock tends to move 3-4% on a regular basis. Today, it is just about up 0.17%, but on most occasions, we tend to witness a movement of 2 to 3% in this particular stock. So now we'll take the stocks of Force Motors. So Force Motors, the chart structure continues to remain relatively on the positive side. Even though today we have witnessed a bit of profit booking in the counter, you can clearly see from the chart structure it is extremely bullish. The longer term trend as well as the short term trend continues to remain relatively on the positive side for the stock, and currently it is quoting at 8,140 levels. Nonetheless, a breakout above today's high of 19,100 we could expect the momentum to gradually build up and move once again towards the mark of 21,000, 21,200, 21,400 levels from a short term perspective. The chart structure, if you see, it has witnessed an inverse head and shoulder pattern. Nonetheless, it is yet to confirm this particular pattern, but the momentum is clearly being built up on the upside. So Fortis Healthcare, if you see, post the phenomenal run that the stock witnessed of nearly doubling from the April lows of 600, we witnessed a rally all the way towards 1,100 on the upside in the share price of Fortis Healthcare. And post that, we have witnessed a bit of profit booking, which came about in the last 5 to 6 trading sessions. Nonetheless, the chart structure clearly is still positive. So any dip, further dip that you get, you can make use of it to invest gradually. Do buy it in parts, because most of the healthcare stocks also tend to be quite choppy and volatile. So if you get opportunities to accumulate it in parts rather than a single purchase in one go. So if you take the next counter, we'll take the next counters. Capri Global. So Capri Global today is witnessing positive momentum. We expect the stock, which had formed a long base, and then we had a breakout. Then once again it came to test this particular base, and we are seeing an extension on the upside. So clearly there is decent momentum which is being seen in Capri Global. If you have a position, short term position, 191, 193 would be the stop loss levels on the downside, and on the upside we could see a swing high, that is 212 would be the first resistance, followed by 222, 223. So I do not track commodities, so I'll not be in a position to give a view on gold, and it's more of a supply demand, more of a price chart action. So there is a stock, Power India, so we'll just give regarding that also. सो हिटाची अगर आप देखें, रिजल्ट्स आने के बाद काफ़ी अच्छा मूव देखने को मिला है स्टॉक में, एंड ये सेक्टर ही एक पॉजिटिव थीम में है. इट्स अ सेक्टर विच इज़ क्वाइट इन डिमांड. जो पूरा पावर सेक्टर है, काफ़ी अच्छा डिमांड है ये पर्टिकुलर स्पेस के लिए, और उसमें भी हिटाची एक अच्छा खासा परफॉर्मिंग काउंटर है. अगर आप मोमेंटम की बात करें तो क्लियरली स्टॉक में अच्छा खासा मोमेंटम है. दी RSI, जो हम लोग टेक्निकल इंडिकेटर यूज़ करते हैं मोमेंटम गेज करने के लिए, वो क्लियरली एक्सट्रीम लेवल्स पे है, लेकिन दैट्स द टाइम व्हेन वी सी एक्सट्रीम पॉजिटिव मूव्स आल्सो इन द काउंटर. तो हिटाची में ग्रेजुअली, भले ही अभी ऑल टाइम हाई पे चल रहा है 21,230, उसका ऑल टाइम हाई है स्टॉक का, which is the previous high was 21,800. So now we are about 600 points away. That would be a flick for the particular stock. So any move about 21,800, we could see a fresh all-time high in the particular counter. But अगर आपका position है, you should definitely continue holding it. The only thing in such type counters is the move is very sharp and large. So it's difficult to maintain small stop losses in stocks like this, because 3 to 4% is a regular move for a stock like Hitachi on a daily basis. But nonetheless, the chart structure is really on the positive side. Post its earnings numbers that we are witnessing a bit of profit booking come about. So now we have a question regarding Jindal Saw. So जिंदल सॉ आज पहला दिन है मूव का. सो इट्स इफ यू लुक एट अ चार्ट स्ट्रक्चर, टेक्निकल तौर पे तो हम लोग कभी भी स्टॉक जब भी 20 डे मूविंग एवरेज है 50 डे मूविंग एवरेज के नीचे रहता है, वी जनरली टेंड टू अवॉइड सच स्टॉक्स. If it's a fundamental take that you are taking, I would have to check it because results देखना पड़ेगा, बहुत सारे दूसरे फैक्टर्स भी देखने पड़ेंगे. And the time horizon also should be from a much longer term perspective. You would not expect it to have a time horizon of less than 3 to 4 months when you're bottom picking in the stocks. Because हम लोग जो भी टेक्निकल तौर पे देते हैं, most of the time we have filter criteria that the stock is trading above its short term and medium term averages, because that's where the momentum actually is. If the stocks, you can clearly see almost from last December the stock is in a clear downtrend. It is just one candle away. It just requires to change the entire picture. Today we are positive, but वापस अगर pressure आ जाता है, the stock could take a bit of time to continue its recovery. So if it's from a longer term perspective, then it's better to take the view of the fundamental team once. If it's from an extreme short term perspective, then maintain Friday's low itself as the stop loss. Currently we are at 171. Around 163 levels would be the stop loss. 163, 162 levels. The other stock is Motherson. So it's Motherson Sumi or Samvardhan Mother. So we'll take Motherson Sumi. So if you see Motherson Sumi, the stock chart is relatively on the positive side. Last 3-4 trading session से थोड़ा profit booking आया है, but nonetheless the stock which is at currently at 45.99, the chart structure is relatively positive. Any breakout that we get or witness above the mark of 48.5 would lead to a fresh upside rally in this particular stock. And the main support zone currently is the swing levels of 43.95, which would be the key resistance, I mean support for the stock from a short term perspective. So Samvardhan Motherson you can consider, because most of the auto ancillary numbers are coming relatively decent. But if it's a trading perspective, do it with the 3 to 4% as the trailing stop loss. Now let's just quickly take two more questions, and then that will be a wrap of today's session. First, I'll take Amber Enterprises, and the other one is Nifty. So Amber, if you see, the stock has reacted to its earnings numbers which came about, and post that the stock was down about 7.5-8% in trade on Friday. So currently the stock is trading absolutely at its 200-day moving average. So आज का day low is the immediate stop loss that I would expect. Even keeping it Friday's low is too far away, because that low is 6,736. Now we are at 7,043 levels. So keeping a stop loss closer towards 6,900 would be ideal stop loss. 6,900, 6,880 levels would be the stop loss, or even maximum you can consider closer towards 6,800. That is from a slightly longer term perspective. On the upside, the stock would take a bit of time. We have seen a very good rally which had come about in the stock, and post that there was sharp profit booking which came about. So the stock corrected from its all-time high levels, and from 8,500 levels. Now we are at 7,050. Now coming to the chart of Nifty itself. So Nifty is currently in a consolidation mode, post moving towards the levels of 25,653. We have hit a high, fresh high, but post that again there is a bit of consolidation which has come about in the index. So the index is absolutely sideways from the last hour or so, but overall the trend is on the positive side. It has so if you take, we'll draw it and we'll explain it. I will just show it that why there is so much significance towards the Friday's low point. if you take the previous two tops and you just draw a trend line and you connect it, it will come absolutely at that point where we witnessed a support. So clearly, this particular zone is a crucial mark. Even today's low is a crucial level. That is the psychological mark of 25,500. But Friday's low 25,300 is definitely a crucial support zone, and we could expect a slight pullback at least towards 25,800, 850 levels, and that would be the first resistance for the index. That is 25,860. Followed directly by the mark of 26,050 on the upside. So overall, we are expecting a decent momentum. Do note that quite a few companies would be announcing their results during this particular week. We are almost into the last week of the result earnings, and it will be closely tracked by the market. So overall, we are expecting the index that till the time the recent swing low is held, that is 25,300, we expect the index to move towards 25,850, 860, which would be the first resistance. And any close about 25,860, we could expect a further 200 point movement in the particular index. So that's a wrap of today's edition of the mid market. We hopefully will meet tomorrow. So any questions that I have missed out on, please feel free to ask your queries in tomorrow's session. Thank you. Yeah, Ashwin, my colleague, he's on a week. He's on a leave for a few days. He'll be back soon. He'll be back by this Friday. So he, whoever has been closely in touch with Ashwin, do note that he'll be back on Friday for all the sessions onwards. Thank you.